All right, friends, welcome back. And today, let's discuss about with your androgens cycles, with your growth hormone, which is better? Should you do low dosage or should you do high dosage? How hard should you push it? Now, this is a highly debated topic, especially in 2025, because there's schools of thought that say if you're going to hop on androgens, keep the dosage low. And then there's other schools of thought that say if you're going to hop on androgens, you're already on androgens, you might as well push a decent cycle. Okay, so I've kind of changed my opinion on this a little bit. I used to be much more in the camp of, okay, if you're gonna hop on androgens, just use the use lower dose cycles. But then as I've seen things kind of evolve and I've kind of talked to more high level coaches, I've kind of come more to a middle ground stance on it. But today I wanted to break down, depending on who you are, how should you set up your cycle and how hard should you push. So in this video, guys, I'm going to make the case for both lower dose cycles and for higher dose cycles. So again, if you're on one team or the other, you're probably going to disagree and agree with me at some point in this video. So that being said, guys, let's dive right in. So first, let's talk about lower dosage or more moderate based cycles. Now, in my opinion, this is staying under a gram of gear. And this is, like I said, lower to more moderate dosage. So there is nuance in this conversation, and this is where it becomes important to kind of properly understand when should you do this and when should you do the other strategy, right? So if it is your first time hopping on a cycle, right? You're new to gear, you're maybe in your first 1 to 2 years of cycling. I really think you can probably stay at a gram or under for your first year. Now, the reason for this is you're learning how your body responds to the compounds, how your blood work responds to the compounds. Do you have any major issues, right? If you push too hard, too fast, you may run into some pretty major side effects, okay? So what if you respond really poorly to testosterone and makes all your hair fall out, and then you jump right up to 2 grams of test or a gram of test, and then you get absolutely blasted by your cycle because, again, you didn't test out first and see how it works on your body and how your body handles it, because a lot of people's bodies can handle gear better or worse, right? Mentally, some people handle it better than other people. Physically, some people handle it better than other people. And then even blood work wise, some people just simply handle it better than other people. So it's important to take a step back and learn how your body responds to this, okay? So, but again, in that first year of being on a cycle, you should take the doses as low as possible, use the minimum effective dosage, and then walk your dosage up very slowly, okay? In my opinion, yes, it makes sense to use higher dosages, but you have to kind of earn those dosages, if that makes sense. So start low, learn how your body responds, and then after that first year, if you work up to like a gram of androgens and you realize, hey, I can handle this well, my blood work handles this well, I have the financial ability, I'm mentally stable enough to handle, these cycles, okay, now we can talk about in the next few years pushing up the dosages. But what the most important thing is, guys, and the best time in my opinion, and really the major time you need to use lower dose cycles is when you're first starting and you're first introducing yourself to androgens, okay? So your first exposure should be a lower dose exposure. So now let's talk about when you should kind of start to push a little bit. So I always believe, number one, in titrating up the cycle. So I never believe on week 1 starting at an insane dosage. But what I will say is if you're experienced with cycling, you know how your body responds to androgens, there should come a point in your PED journey, right? If your goal is to be a bodybuilder. Now, if your goal is to just simply hop on androgens, be recreational, look good at the beach, then you don't have to push anything. You can stay at that under a gram range. Maybe you push it up for a little bit, but you don't really have to push anything, okay? If that's your goal, is to just be recreational, you just want to look good at the beach, you don't even really care about looking super, super enhanced, that's totally fine. At the same time, right, a really good school of thought that I've kind of heard is if you're going to hop on androgens, right, and you're going to go through everything, and you're going to pin, and you're going to risk your blood work, and you're going to shut down your fertility, you might as well push a little bit. And I think this is, a good school of thought, because again, if you're going to jump into it, you might as well go all in, okay? But the key that I am saying here is when you do decide to go all in, you do decide to push, make sure it is done intelligently. And again, you spend that first year really learning how your body responds to androgens, okay? So let's say now you're in year 2 to 3 of cycling. This is where I think you should begin to push your dosages up. Now, what I've noticed with a lot of guys, talking to a lot of pro coaches, a lot of pro bodybuilders, is that if you stick to the basic compounds, the testosterones, the primos, the masterons, the nandrolones, the GHs, okay, you can push the dosages up to the gram and a half, 2 gram range, and a lot of these guys actually can maintain pretty clean blood work, okay? I'm not saying that you will maintain clean blood work, but I'm just saying you'd be surprised that when you stick to the basic compounds and the compounds you know and your body knows, you'd be surprised at how clean you can keep your blood work if you know what you're doing, okay? And if you don't know what you're doing, guys, I highly recommend you head over to Biohacking University, get a membership. It's $19.99 a month, and go through our PED course. And then if you have any more questions, set up a consult with me. I'll guide you through all of it. But again, in those years, once you've learned how your body responds to the androgens, then I see a reason to now it's like, okay, now we push, right? But again, even when we push androgens up, even when we push and we go up to like the 2-gram range of androgens, which by the way, not everybody needs, and you'll learn if you're a hyper responder and you don't need that very, very quickly. But even if we learn that you can handle it and we start to push, everything is based on a as needs basis, okay? So again, we're titrating your dosage up based on what you need and based on how well you handle it, okay? So we're never just making that crazy jump up to a crazy dosage for no reason at all. We're doing everything from a very calculated perspective based on how you and your biology responds. Again, though, what you'll notice is that if cycles are designed properly and you're properly titrating and you're using the kind of key normal compounds, right? You'll notice that your blood work is actually not going to be that bad for the most part. Some people do get very bad blood work. But again, this comes back to learning about how your body handles it. If in that first year you notice on your blood work, wow, my LDL is always sky high, okay, then when we start to push the dosages, we have a plan in place and we have ancillaries in place to address those LDL-based issues, okay? So the point is of this video, okay, is do not cap yourself off if you're going to hop on androgens at lower dosages. You might as well, you're on them, you might as well push, but make those pushes strategic, okay? Do not just blindly push and think that, hey, I'm just going to go blast up to 2 grams without any rhyme or reason. No, start at something like 300 to 500, say you're bulking, week 1, and then as the bulk goes on, slowly work your way up to 1 gram, 1.5 grams, and maybe even 2 grams if needed. Again, if needed is the key. Not everybody needs that much. I'm just using kind of arbitrary numbers here. But guys, I hope this sheds some light on the debate versus high dosage versus low dosage androgens. Again, my opinion is that if you're going to hop on androgens, number 1, do your due diligence, learn how your body responds, be diligent in understanding your body's response. But if your body responds well and you can handle it and you're on androgens and you're pushing and everything feels good, you might as well push to those higher dosages. You're already on, and again, if you're strategical and you're intelligent in how you do it, you will not run your health into the ground. So make sure you have a good coach behind you, make sure you have a good team behind you, and you guys will be good to go. With that being said, guys, I hope this video was helpful in shedding some light on how hard should you push your androgens. With that being said, guys, thank you, take care, and have a good one.